Sister Rose. Give her a hearty amen.
Glad that you're here tonight. God has been good to us, blessed us more than we could ever comprehend. Thank you, Him, for all that He's done for us. Yes, I'm coming to you from Galatians, the 6th chapter. Father, we're thankful for all that you've done for us, for your blessings. You've been so good, so kind. Thank you for being there when I didn't see my way out. I thank you, God, because you are my healer tonight. And I bind every spirit that's not like you. And I put you under my feet tonight in every way. I pray, God, that the anointing of God would come tonight. That you work a miracle. That you would bless your people as only you can. I cannot make it without you. With you, I can do anything. I pray, God, for the strength of God tonight. I pray, God, that your will would be done. And we'll give you glory and honor in Jesus' name. Amen. I told my daughter I got home today, I had Slewfoot was in this pulpit fighting me this morning. And I told one, I said, I didn't want to come out and kick him out the pulpit because people think I'm crazy. But that's my way I felt. I need to kick him out the pulpit, but couldn't do it because I thought next time I'm just going to have to take care of him some other way. But he's a rotten liar. That's what he is. He's the father of it. If you believe it, you're messed up. The 6th chapter of Galatians, the 7th verse says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. I want to talk to you a little while tonight. And this is what I want to say. Do you know how many people have sown seeds in their life and forgot what they did. And then way down the road, here it comes back. And you don't remember it because it's been so long, but everybody is going to reap every seed that you ever sowed in your life. It may be good, it may be bad, but you are going to reap it. So when I thought about that, I thought sometimes I think when people are going through something and they say, I don't know what I could have done, I don't know why this is happening to me. The bottom line is it's happening to you because you forgot that what you did back there. And you made up in your mind to go on with your life. You did it, it's over, and I'm finished with it. That can't happen. It cannot happen. And so when I think about God watching over us all the time, keeping an eye on us, in every way that we turn, God is looking at us. We have got to say as a people, I'm going to do the right thing. Quit worrying about the people right down here who see you. God is seeing everything you do. Everything. You don't realize sometimes you read the word and people don't focus on it, that if they did, they'd be careful what they say, how they say it, everything. They would be careful. But because we're not conscious of that, and we allow the enemy to cause us to say things and do things, even the words you say to somebody, the harsh words, that's coming back to you. When you didn't show mercy, that's coming back. When you didn't think it was important or whatever, it's coming back. Wait, I look at the situation. I said to the Lord tonight, as I look back over my own life, I'm thankful I treated people right. I didn't mistreat anybody. I don't have anything I have regrets for. And I was reading that book by Billy Graham, and he said, or was it him? Yes, no. Yes, he brought up some things that somebody asked him, how did he have any regrets? I think that was him. Who was that I was telling y'all about? Do you remember? Said he had regrets. No, ask him if he had. No, that was Judge Sarakin. Ask him, did he have any regrets about the opinions and the things that he did while he was a judge on the bench? And he said, I don't have any regrets. You know where that comes from? Doing it right. If I do it right, I don't have any regrets. But if I don't, nothing is worse than looking over your life thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I'd have shut up instead of talking. I want to pray for you at the end of the service, honey, okay? Bless your little heart. But I want to remember when I come to the end of my life that I'm not saying, oh, if I could do that over again. You know how many people live that way every day? If I could do that over again, I would do it different. I wouldn't give in to that. I wouldn't do it. So why don't you live your life every day so I don't have that? If you do right all of your life and you come to the end of your life, you will not have regrets, without a doubt. So I said, Lord, if people would start thinking before they make decisions and do things, and think of the person that you are hurting while you're doing it, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to make sure that I don't put myself in this kind of position where I'm going to be sorry down the road for what I did to you. And that happens to a lot of people. But here's the thing that bothered me or stayed with me. When the scripture says if you sow the wind, you're going to reap the whirlwind. Now, sometimes we do things and they're very bad, but when it comes back around to you, it's going to be double that. Because the wind and the whirlwind is different. I mean, just to have a wind is one thing, but to get a whirlwind is like extremely strong wind. And so you say, I don't know why I'm going through all this. I can tell you you're going through all that because of this thing, because of that. Search your life and see, every time something happens in your life, there's a reason for it. So why is this here? I talked about the lady I saw at the rest home one time, and she said, she wasn't an old woman. She was like maybe 50, 60. She said, you know why I'm in this chair? I said, no. She said, I treated my husband so bad. She said, the things I did to my husband, I should have never done it. I should not have done it. And now I'm sitting in the rest home, and you're not even old yet. And there you sit because of something you did to your husband. And sometimes when we're doing people wrong, we know we're doing them wrong. We know we didn't treat them right. Come on, want to give me that stool. We know that already. But still, we keep going. We keep putting it up, going with it, going with it. You can't afford that. If all you got in your life when you come to the end of your life is the feeling that, okay, is that right? I don't think so. I don't want to fall. If I fall, I may not get up. Yeah. Here, put this out from under me. Excuse us. Thank you. Push it up to me. There we go. Whew, yes, feels much better too. Okay, pray for your pastor. I got issues. And I'm not talking about just a few. I'm talking about many. But by the grace of God, I'm still going. So, nobody wants to reap bad things. We all look for the good things in life that we can have. But at the end of the day, it's going to come back to you. I thought about when Joseph's brethren, they really treated Joseph bad, very bad. And he was a little boy. They didn't like him. He didn't do anybody any harm. They didn't like him. They were jealous of him. Also jealous of that little pretty coat of many colors. Sometimes parents, I don't think about it sometimes, but when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking it might not have been so good that he just bought a coat of many colors and gave it to the youngest son. But I also understand why he did it. You know, he thought he was finished. And he had another baby. So that last baby is meaning something to him. So he gives him a coat of many colors. Well, the brothers, they didn't like him. They just didn't like him or who he was. So they set out to destroy him. He said, I dreamed that all of y'all bowed to me. All of you. And he said, we're not bowing to you. Who do you think you are? So they sought to get rid of him because he was a dreamer. People don't like dreamers. Because they can't dream, they don't like your dream. And so his brothers sought to get rid of him. Put him in a pit. Sold him to the Egyptians. And his father thought he was dead because when they went back to him, he said, your son is dead. Here's the coat. Because they dipped it in the animal blood, took it back to him, said, here's the coat. And your son's dead. They were glad to report that. But watch it. The only thing I probably wish that God would change, and I know he's not for me, but the thing I wish he'd change, get the enemy quick. Get him real fast. God always seems to take a long time to get your enemy. They're walking around, they look like they're doing okay and all this stuff. And God, if you please get them for me. Because I'm not supposed to get them. God's supposed to do it. But there's that thing inside sometimes that says, boy, I wish I could take care of this. I could take care of it for God. He wouldn't even have to do it. I could change this situation. I can handle this. No, it's so much better when God does it because you're not left messed up. If we try to do something, we don't know how to do it. We think we do. I know how to get this done, but you don't. And so he met his brother after 20-something years. All this time, they thought they got away. They thought, well, we did it, so be it. And my dad's going to always think he's dead, except God had a plan to exalt their brother. And they was going to have to bow just like he dreamed it. When they look at this situation, they're down there almost begging for help because it's a famine in the land. Dad said, go down there and see if we can get some food or whatever. But Joseph was there. And the king had put him over everything. And so now they're there, but they don't know it's him. Isn't that wonderful that when God brings something around and you've been blessed so much that folks don't know who you are? I mean, that can really happen. And so now he's there, and all the 11 of them are there trying to get some food. And Joseph recognized them. He recognized them. And then he said, he played them along. I love the way he did that. and just act like he didn't know who they were and all of these things. And finally it came to the point that he made himself known to his brothers. They were scared to death. Do you know why you're scared sometimes? Because you don't know what's getting ready to happen to you for what you already did. And it's coming to you no matter what. Whether you say it or not, it's coming to you. So I got to look at the situation where I want to come to the end of every day of my life and ask myself, did I hurt somebody today? Did I deliberately didn't show you love? Did I push you in a certain place and said something or did something that bothered you and I didn't even think about it? One thing I have to worry about, if I preach the gospel and somebody get hurt, that's okay. But just to hurt somebody? And for many reasons that don't make sense, that we reach out and we hurt people, they did not have to do this to their brother. But they sowed that seed and it was coming back to them. You can't get around it. Because the word says if you sow it, you're going to reap it. And once the word says something, that's exactly what's going to happen. You are going to reap what you sow. Don't be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever man soweth, he's going to reap that. If he sows to his flesh, he only gets fleshly things. If he sows to the spirit, he gets spiritual things. So God is at work in our life doing what needs to be done, but he's watching everything you're doing. Every little thing you do that you thought it wasn't nothing, I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, she learned how to take something. No. You can't do that. You got to stop for a moment and say, wait a minute. I was counseling with somebody, and it wasn't what you call, it was good, but in another sense, it might not have felt good. And I knew that I was going to have to go back in a minute. I think it was Amber. And I had to, not hard, she didn't get hard. She got light. But I thought, Amber, this is not good. So after I talked to her for a while, showed her how the devil works, and we got to watch the devil, we got to do this and do that. And after I talked to her, then later, I called her again. I said, Amber, you understand? Yes, Miss Rose, I just finished praying. Here it is. It doesn't feel good, but it is good. We got to quit believing that if it don't feel good, it's not good. That's not true. That's not true. Karen's mother, where are you? I want to pray for you, okay? At the end of this service. Yeah. I'll come back to you. So, every one of us should be in a place where we're not going to let the devil make me do things that I'm going to regret. And sometimes what you've done, you can't even fix it. You can't fix it. Sometimes a person's passed on to the other life. You can't fix it. You got to think, boy, I wish I could tell him I'm sorry. I wish I could apologize. But you can't. What you did wrong, whether that person is dead or alive, you're going to pay for that. You got to do it. God is a just God. He's not going to just let us go or whatever and don't take care of his business, because he wants you to do what he told you to do. Be careful. Love one another as Christ has loved the church. Love each other. When you love somebody, you won't be quick to hurt them. You won't be quick to hurt them. When when David had sex with Bathsheba, understand this. I don't know how he could think it, but it seemed like he went on with his life as if nothing happened. You had a man murdered. You took his wife. She's pregnant with your child. And people just get up and go on like it don't matter. Don't you for a moment be deceived. God is coming to get every person who has wronged somebody. And those that have done good, he's going to reward you with good because you sowed a seed that was good. Now, David, here's what's so crazy to me about that, is that they could have many wives. Them folks that didn't have one wife, they had many. I couldn't have lived in that day. Because I ain't sharing my husband with nobody. But they had all these women and concubines, what have you, that they could spend time with or whatever. Why did you need another one? And it wasn't even yours, it belonged to him. And when he sees this woman, I don't know if a man would ever get fulfilled with just what he's got. I've always want the other thing over the fence. Forget that and love what you got. So now he sees Bathsheba taking a bath, and he's on the balcony, which he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was supposed to be at war like all the kings do. But now he's walking out on the balcony, and he looks down at a woman and see her bathing herself. And he liked what he saw. So he said, get her for me. After all, I'm the king. You can do that. The king can order stuff because I have the authority. You don't have the authority to misuse people. You don't have the authority to beat people down. No, that should never happen. But he kills her and he tries to cover the sin up. What he did to this man, the man is dead. He treated him terrible. To bring him home from war just for one thing. I'm going to have to get that husband here and make him have sex with his wife. So she's pregnant now, then he'll think it's his baby. Otherwise, if he's still at war, he's going to know it's not his. So go down there. You go to your wife. Brought him off the battlefield and told him to go home to his wife and have a little R&R. And he wouldn't go. That's blowing up his plan. See, he's got a plan. People got plans all the time. They ain't of God. They're just crooked stuff. But now he's planning this because I got a thing I've done here. I need to cover this up, and you're not going to get you ain't going to do it. I don't care how hard you try. So, but God had a prophet named Nathan. And Nathan, the Lord told Nathan, I want you to go down and tell David. He gave him a riddle. Tell him what he's done. He said he gave him a riddle, and he said, so what should be done to the man who has done this? It says, David was all up in the air. Yeah, he ought to be killed. He ought to be, this ought to happen, and that ought to happen to him. And he said, and Nathan looks him in the face and said, you're the one. Oh, can't we pass judgment real strong on other people, as long as we're not getting the judgment? Oh, yes. So, but then Nathan said, you are the man. And look what God did to him. He said, I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such. I'd have gave you more. You didn't have to kill this man's wife and get rid of him, all because you wanted to do something. You are sowing a seed. It came back in a whirlwind way. And he said, wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore, listen to what God says he's going to do. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from your house, because thou hast despised me, and he's talking about despising God, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of the sun. It ain't going to be sneaking around at night. I'm going to let everybody see that people are having your wives. And so all this is double to him. He said, for thou didst secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. I'm going to give you a double whammy for what you did to him. If God had killed him, it would have been just. Somewhere in all of this, there's still some mercy being shown. Because I'm telling you, if you kill somebody, then you should be killed. And so as God said, what you ain't going to happen. Then he said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, and the Lord also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. So he's saying you should have died, but he put it away. You're not going to die. Then he said, howbeit by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, and the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. And Nathan departed unto his house, and the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick, and it died. God said, you're not going to keep the baby. And he tried to fast and pray and see if he could change God's mind, but he couldn't. But God said, no, you're going to pay for that. You're not going to keep this baby. I'm going to let all your wives, they're going to have sex with folks all over the city. I'm going to let them do it in the daylight where everybody can see it. And so, but here's what you got to look at, is that through all of this, God was watching this show. He was looking at what he was doing. I think sometimes where are people at that you think God didn't see that? So I don't want Sister Rose to see this. I'm not the one. It is God that's going to judge you for what you did. You can't get around that, no matter what. And so he paid the ultimate price for it. He fasted and prayed, tried to get God to change his mind, but he wouldn't do it. You're going to get yourself in a position, if you're not careful, that you're going to be fasting and praying, trying to get God to change his mind. He's not going to do it. Just because you're going to fast, everybody thinks fast is a fix-it-all, but it's not. It works within its limits. And so when I look at that, I'm thinking, how did you think you were going to get away with it? And there's a lot of people. I was thinking about one of my enemies this week. I don't know why he came to my mind. Somebody must have brought him. Yeah, they did. And we were talking about Willie. It was me and William. He went to this church, he and his wife Helen. And I never did anything to anybody, not one person that ever was a part of this church or left. I never wronged any of them. I never did. But now they're filing a lawsuit against me. They're lying on me. They come together as a group that had once been in this church and left. They ran me down. They done me some every way. They was getting ready to go to court. And what happened to Willie? He dropped dead. He was one of the next witnesses coming up to testify against me. He dropped dead on the job. And they say, I never heard of nobody quite being that cold, that he was laying on the floor and gasping for breath, and people was walking all around him. That's not usually the way people act or respond, walking all around him. And I thought, yeah, you had planned to do it to me, and God says you're not going to do it. You better be real careful what you think. But he'd already talked about me and lied on me anyway. And God said, no, your days are done, buddy. This is it. You may think that God ain't seeing it, he ain't doing nothing, but he's doing something. There's some things we just want God to do right now. And we have to learn patience, that he's coming around the corner. He's going to take care of it. All you got to do is do what's right. If somebody wrongs you, don't worry about it. It's coming back. If you needed some money and you asked somebody to help you out and they didn't, it's coming back. It always comes back around, no matter how you look at it. So what you do in your life every day, you should be walking in a careful, very careful pattern. That I'm going to be careful what I do, because God is not going to let you get away. Let me show you what God did to Ahab. He wanted Naboth's vineyard. And Naboth said, I'm not going to give it to you. I will not take my inheritance that was left for me, and give it to you. He said, I'll give you money for it. He said, I don't want money. This is my inheritance. This is important to me. No, I don't want it. He goes home, lay up like a spoiled brat. And his wife comes in to him and says, what's wrong? He said, I wanted Naboth's vineyard. I told him it was closer to my house. I told him this, I told him that. And he won't let me have it. That's like a spoiled kid. And Jezebel, with her no good self, said, aren't you the king? She said to him, why? I don't know why you're so heavy. You can do anything you want to do. That's not true. You can't do anything you want to do and get away with it. It's not going to happen with God. It's not going to happen. So she said, I'll get the vineyard for you. So she had some people to lie on him, tell lies and say he was promoting his God and what have you, and then put some other things in there. And she said, and the wife said, I tell you what you do. You go proclaim a fast. This is a fast being called to try to do a person wrong. She said, do a fast. And she said, and I'll write letters in Ahab's name and sealed them. And with this seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in the city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letter, saying, proclaim a fast, set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, means sons of the devil, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him to death. How cruel is that? How could you want anybody's property that bad that you're going to set up a plan and go out and stone him to death? It shows you how heartless people can be. And it says, listen, and the people, they carried him out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. I got it for you. I told you I would get it for you. This is what I'm going to do. God saw every bit of it. And it came to pass when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, and Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah and said, arise, go down to meet Ahab. Where is he at? He's in Naboth's garden. God knew where he was at, knew exactly what was going on. Go down there and tell him this. He says, and thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and also taken possession? You killed him and then you took his property? Okay? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, in the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even yours. I'm going to make you're going to die the same kind of death. And where he was there, I am telling you right now, you are going to answer for it. Listen to this. Ahab said to Elijah, hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of God. Don't call me the enemy because I'm coming to tell you the truth. Take it. You did this. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Listen, behold, I will bring evil upon you and will take away thy posterity, meaning your future generations, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall. You know what that means? Only men piss against the wall. Right. He said, I'm on everyone that piss against the wall, him that is shut up and left in Israel. And I will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam and the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, of the son of Ahijah, for the provocation to anger and made Israel to sin. He says, I'm going to make your house just like these other people. Every one of their families died out, men and women alike. There was nobody who could produce heirs. Nobody could cause their family to go on because he killed all of them. He said, I'm going to make your house the same way because this is what you're doing. Should have never did it. And Jezebel also spake to the Lord, saying, no, he said, and of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying that the dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Your wife's going to be ate up by the dogs. She's not going to have a funeral. She's not going to have a memorial. I'm going to let the dogs eat her up. And they ate every bit of her up, except the skull of her head. I mean, they had a big dinner. So look at this. It said, him that dieth of Ahab in the city, said the dogs shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. I'm going to destroy all of them. Can you imagine doing something in your life that everybody that's connected you, who's connected to you, has been wiped out? Everybody, all because of what you did. So when you're sowing seeds, and this is what happened. Let me show you what happened. And it says, there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominable in following idols, according to all that is done in the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass when Ahab heard these words, he rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted and lay in sackcloth and went softly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, seest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? Because he humbled himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his own son's days, and I will bring the evil upon the house. So now he said, I'm going to let all your kids, I'm going to let all them have this. But because you repented, because you did it right, if you find out you did something wrong, your salvation is repentance. That's the only way that God's going to hear you. You got to say, I'm sorry for this. I shouldn't have did this. What way can I make it up? Ahab, when he heard the judgment, he got a hold to God. Everybody's not going to grant that too, but you don't know if he's going to do it for you. But you could avoid all of that by just simply saying, I'm not going to do nobody wrong. I'm going to treat people right. I'm not going to talk about you. I'm not going to lie on you. I'm not going to do any of those things. Make up in your mind, I won't be there. I won't be the gossiper, or the one that's putting somebody's character in the mud, if you will, and just beat them down and make you feel like they're the worst person around. Now, what happened when the other crowd finally took me to court? It was two of them. They took me to court. They talked about me so bad, told so many lies, until they startled the judge, literally. And they had a 5-day trial. I went on the 5th day because I had to testify in my behalf. And I watched them on the news coming out of the room, and they were laughing and mocking and making fun. And I went down that Friday so I could testify, and God turned their lawyer's heart against them. And when I started to say something, because when I came in, the judge looked at me and said, are you Rose Banks? Yeah, I think he expected me to have a tail and a knife or a fork or something. They had painted this picture of me that was so wrong. And I said, yes, I am. And so when I got on the stand, somebody wanted to get up and object to something, and he said, let her talk. In other words, all these other demons in this room had their day. Let her speak for herself. And I did. And then the lawyer sent me the word afterwards and said, tell Rose, had we known these people like we know them today, we'd have never represented them, because all they told was a bunch of lies. He said, tell her, told me to pay them, what was it, $2,500? I said, I'm not giving them no money for lying on me. Since when do that work? Well, they want $1 million. Well, give me the million first, and you still ain't gonna get it. And so the judge said, well, let her go ahead and give them $2,500. I told my attorney, I said, I can't do that. I'm not going to do it. Did I have $2,500? Yeah, it's my money. I said, I'm not going to do it. He said, Rose, it's not very much. Why don't you? I said, no, that's a lot to pay somebody for lying on you. I can't do that. I can't do it. It's coming back to get you. Sometimes the person that you least expect that you done wrong is the hand that have to feed you. They have to come back to you and ask you, could you help me? Would you kind of get me through this situation? Sister Loft did that to me in Germany. She got with Sister Bailey, and they both were white. We had a pretty good mixed congregation in Germany, and I couldn't understand, why did you get with Sister Loft and tell all these lies? They're not true. The Baileys turned on Sister Loft at the end of the day. They turned on her. I'll never forget it. I was walking through the housing area, and the Lord said, go by and comfort Sister Loft. She needs comfort. I went to her house, and when she opened the door, she just broke down crying. I said, I forgive you. It's okay. She was so sad, so depressed, because the people that you hooked up with against me, where are they now? Where are they? People are going to get what's coming to them. But if God says, go, I want you to love your enemy. Feed him when he's hungry. If he's thirsty, give him to drink. Oh, that's huge. That's huge. The average person say, I ain't going to give it to my next door neighbor, and she ain't never done nothing to me. I'm not getting ready to feed her anything. God says, go love your enemies. I never forget Sister Loft said, Rose, I'm so sorry. I said, I forgive you. And you know what? I didn't have a struggle with it. I didn't have no struggle like, sure, yeah, God got you, didn't he? No, I didn't go there. But I thought, how sad you must be alone. The people that were a team with you, they're no longer the team. So now, the person that you talked about, the person that you run down, who's there for you? That person. And the Lord said, go by her house. She's alone. I did not one time ever gloat in the fact that, okay, she's alone, so I just know, and I was waiting for God to get her. He sure did. He done her good. He said, if you rejoice when I get your enemy, he said, I withdraw my judgment from him. So while you shouting, he's taking it off your enemy. You can't shout about it. You can thank God for victory, but you can't say, I'm so glad he cut his head off. You don't go out there like that. Because at the end of the day, you still supposed to love. And God is going to give people what they deserve. And it's going to come back worse than what they did to you. A whirlwind's coming. It comes from, and sometimes that's coming from the east, coming from the west, the north, the south. From every direction. You know, you heard people say, when it rains, it pours. That's what it means. It started coming on me from every direction. I know before I leave this world that I will hear him bring my enemies down, and they are many. You know why they're many? All because of truth. We don't like what you said. That when you rebuked me and told me that it wasn't right or whatever, I don't like that. I can't stand Sister Rose. I don't need you to like me. I'm going to stay in one piece regardless of how you feel. But you're hurting yourself. Quit being upset. Be sure you do good. When it's time for you to do good to people. And do extra. If they ask you to go a mile, go 2. If they ask you for your coat, give them your cloak too. That's what the word said. If they slap you on this cheek, give them the other one. Because at the end of the day, they're going to pay for it. The end of the day seems like it takes a long time to come. It's like, wow, is he ever going to come? I was telling the Lord this evening before coming to church, I said, God, I'm so tired. I just want to see some things take a radical change. And nobody but nobody can do that for me but you. I can't even explain it. I said to one of this evening when we were getting ready for church, I said, you know what? I don't even have the words to say to God what I'd like for him to do. Because I prayed so long. I've stayed before him so much. Sometimes I just go in his presence and say, I'm here. I don't have anything to say. I'm just here. But since he's my Father, he feels it. He knows what it is. The Holy Ghost, with groanings and moanings that cannot be understood. Look, ministry, I have no regrets that God called me to ministry. I really don't. But you'll never know the burden of it until you walked in it yourself. And you look around and you see every day, you're giving your life for somebody and they're not willing to give back. Every day, you're facing something that says, nah, you're constantly unappreciated in ministry. That's one of the greatest things I think in ministry. Good preachers are not appreciated. Crooks, yes, they are. But the leaders who are really giving their life, they don't really care. So as a result, say for instance, you love somebody, love them again and again, but you never get nothing back from them. Leaders need something back. They need you. I can hear that you love me. I felt that when you hugged me. I felt that when you said that to me. I felt that when you sent me that card in the mail. I felt that. All these things that people take for granted. If you want to do some good, do it to the leader. Because what you give a leader, he said, if you give him a cup of water in my name, I'm going to give you one. If you're good to them, I'm going to be good to you. Be good to my leader. Leaders sacrifice beyond words. And people sit around. If you want to be a pastor, you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't know. You got to understand, everybody gets tired. Everybody gets tired. The life that I live requires much of me. Tired. It says, you shall not plant, yea, they shall not be sown, yea, and their stock shall not take root in the earth. He shall also blow upon them, and they shall wither, and the whirlwind shall take them away as stubble. God said, I'm gonna get rid of you for what you've done. Think for a moment. Say, now, let me put this in here. The fact of what I do is not my decision. That's what God says you have to do. But God is up in heaven. He's not getting pushed around. But his leader is. For him, it is well worth it. And you have to tell yourself, after being in this city 30 plus years, whoa, you cannot begin to comprehend. Lord, just do something. Just one thing for me. Let me see this. Just one thing. And you know what? Suddenly, without even knowing he's coming, he comes and takes care of it. If I could see you teach these people a lesson, if we could see you avenge us of those who hate us, if we could see, God, you take one moment and let me see it with these eyes, I would not rejoice, but I'd shout because I got victory. I'm an overcomer. I'm the one who wins in the long run. So, what you did to me is going to be a whole lot worse for you. And I'm not sitting waiting for the day for you to have the hardest time in your life. I just want justice. God, just give us what's just. We're not asking for anything overly special. Just justice. What a cruel world we live in. Uncaring. Do not care about anybody. And they keep doing this over and over and over again. Let me tell you something. I said this before. I haven't had a day since I've been saved in 50-some years that I wasn't in a trial of some sort. I told the Lord, I said, could I exhale for a minute? I just like to exhale. Because over a period of time, do it make you tired? Yes, it does. Do it make you worn? Yes. And that's why I don't like repeating myself to church people over and over again. Constantly coming to you, do this, do this, do this. You got enough stuff you're dealing with out there that nobody here knows about. So we're asking you, just do what's right. Sow some good seeds into the church. The Lord told me years ago, he said when they sow into the ministry, they sow for their own future. Because it confirms what God's going to do in your behalf. They don't like that. They like to believe it ain't, because people very, very selfish and self-serving. See? So I say, God, how much good did I do for this person or that person? And I don't think it should excel anybody more than your leader. I don't think so. And I think if you had to stand in my shoes, you would say, you're absolutely right. People are blessed. People are strengthened. People are encouraged. God comes by and talks to them. Carlita, my heart shouts for you. They never know what happens when you leave out this auditorium. Probably the only person that sees that is Bernard and my kids. You cannot minister without pushing something out. Something's going through me to get to you. So, and then you say, how did you just go away and just tell lies because you're good? That's amazing. And I look at it, sometimes I find myself in awe. Who are these people? Some of the worst people I've ever seen in my whole life. But with the grace of God, we keep going, and God keeps blessing me. You know what I do like about this? The more enemies you got, the louder, the more he bless you. He blesses you. He opens doors for you. He gives you miracles. He do this and he do that. So I'm happy as a lark. Go ahead. Some things I hear, I'm thinking, boy, you thought the devil would have run out of lies by now. They go one after another, over and over. I thought tonight when I came to church, I thought, I don't want to tell anybody. Don't even want my family to know. I am sick enough right now to die. Right now. More, I used to hear my grandmother say, I'm tired unto death. And I think, yeah. I should tell my sister, what is she tired of? She don't clean up no house. Me and Hannah scrubbing linoleums and cleaning up our rooms and doing all this stuff. And she talking about I'm tired unto death. Well, what are you tired of? Only if I could tell her. The spiritual thing that you go through in your life has absolutely nothing to do with whether you mop the floor today. I'd rather mop the floor. So we take too much for granted. Way, way too much. I left the prison yesterday, went straight to the hospital. Was trying to get there to find out from the doctor what was going on. I was tired to death. Tired to death. I got to do this. This girl is facing death. I must, as a pastor, show up for that. And I did. I don't worry about somebody else saying she didn't come and see me. Things are different. I don't owe you an explanation. I'm going to do what I have to do, and what I can do, I'm going to do it. But that's the thing about, I think because you don't know, and because you don't care to know, it's quick to criticize. And so they asked today, is mama going to the hospital? I can't do it. Would I like to do it? Yes, but I can't do it. And my kids, they're like old mamas around me. No, she can't go today. She got to go home. She can't go. She can't go today. No, I can't. Because nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows. I said, God, you know what? It's the one if I don't just drop dead. Tired of the burden. Not my burden. Tired. Shoulders are worn. Mind is tired. Sometimes I wake up and another day. Another day to deal with what, you know what would be so great? And you could reap some great rewards from it. Just pray for your pastor, support her 100%, and don't let nobody talk about her. You would reap a lot. Because God cares about his leader. He told me years ago, he said, Rose, if my leaders obey me and do what I told them to do, he said, I will withhold no good thing from them. None. He truly has done that for me. There's nothing he has withheld from me. But then you think of people, you think, come on, get in. Do what's right so you don't become a burden to me. Say the right thing. That's helping your pastor. Don't hurt somebody's feelings on just because you can. I have to tell them, don't do business things over here. Don't do this because everything that happens within these walls comes right back to me. So you got your card done. Sister Rose, I ain't been paid. I happen not to be in that ordeal. Got to speak to it. Give the man his money. I mean, he done the work, give him his money. And sometimes, oh my God, I remember Charles said to me, when I leave for vacation, I had to go. You know why? Because after you've done all this that you can do, you need time out. You need time out not to hear from church people, period. Don't hear from nobody. Time out for me to have a break. And I told my husband, I said, I have to take the vacation. I know when I need it. When I start looking at the orders and seeing people have been wearing me different, say, I grip my teeth. Lord, help me to keep loving them. Here they come back again. What did I tell you before? Say, yeah, you have to go because I'd be like Moses, you bunch of rebels. Moses got tired. Told me, bunch of rebels. I surely understand his anger, how he felt. He had to be tired. 4 million people. That's 4 million headaches. 4 million problems. 4 million, all these things. I want you to listen and say, God, you know, from today on, I'm going to do nothing but sow good seeds, good seeds, good seeds, good seeds. Sharon came to church. I was going to bring it up in a meeting the other day, and she sent an envelope in the office, and on the envelope she said, so many people out of work, here's $1,000 on the church lease. And here go Nisha. Wow, somebody cares about mama, feel like the church like mama do. They don't understand. I can't let her bear that burden. She'd never make it. I said, Nisha, whatever comes up, whatever happens, God's going to finish it in the end, and he does it every time. So I think when you feel it, when you actually feel it, I can feel the burden, I can feel the pressure. It motivates me to say, I'm going to do something. Not including all the people that's not even members of this church that I'm talking to on the phone and encouraging them and telling them I'm going to get with you, I'm going to have you over. And my kids said, Mama, don't have nobody over, you're tired. Yeah, but when they come, you would never know I'm tired. I'm laughing and talking and having a good time, and they don't know I'm tired. Let me give them as much as I can. Ministry of a pastor is about giving into the people, but it's also about the people giving in to the pastor. That's what makes them strong. See, you got to remember that I have a certain amount of responsibility, as Sister Rose has, and you couldn't handle my responsibility at all. Your knees would buckle if I laid part of it on you. No, just a quarter of it. You'd fall to the ground in a heartbeat. I said, wow, who was that? Was that you, Brother Simmons? Somebody told me they prayed and asked the Lord, could you let me feel what Sister Rose feels? Was that you? And you said, get this off of me. Immediately. He hadn't even walked one step with it yet. I told the Lord, get this off of me. Oh, you didn't even get started. Quit taking so much for granted. Say, I'm going to be a part of this. And Wanda said it many times, Mama come to the pulpit, you don't think she's tired because she's. And sometimes I don't care if you do. Take a look. Look again. She's talking to a lot of people. And you're giving. Every time you hug somebody, you just got rid of something. Another person, can I have a hug? Yeah. Can I have a hug? And every time you do it, something from you, the Spirit of God reaches out to his people, and he does it through his leaders. So I'm going to make sure if I sow seed nowhere, I'm going to make sure I sow it toward my pastor in this church. It's a fact. I'm not one of these people that don't want to hear from you. I do. And if I have to take time off and do what I got to do, I do. I went up to that hospital the other day, and I thought, I ain't been out and walked so long to any place. I swore I at least ran a mile. I'm not kidding you. I said, Nisa, you know what? I haven't been outside. I don't know what's going on in the city. They drive me around, and I said, what's that over there? Mama, that's been here for a few years. I ain't seen none of the city. I could get totally lost in a moment. And when I got there, I was so tired. I said, Lord, I don't mind doing the work. Just give your servant strength. Give me strength that I can get here, do what I have to do for my little boy back there. I told Eric, I said, now you got to talk to me. He's talking. We're together on this. This is a dark hour, but not one that God can't bring light to. So what you say to people as a leader, there's nobody else can say that and have the same effect. Nobody. See, after I talked to Sister Rose, honey, I felt so good. And after I talked to you, I felt so tired. But you got to do it. Sow some good seeds in the kingdom. Not just anywhere, in the kingdom. Be willing to sacrifice. Be willing to put something on hold. Be willing to do that. I do it every day. Every day. And God expects you to kick it in too. Start sowing good things. You got some bad seeds out there. You need to overtake them by putting some good seed in the ground. You going to ever have anything good coming your way? Did you ever put something good in the ground? Well, I put a little bit, but not much. No, he that soweth abundantly shall reap abundantly. If you sow sparingly, that means stingy, you ain't getting nothing back. But then they'll look over at somebody else and say, boy, I wish I was like her. I wish I had that. I wish I had that. It's not, none of that stuff is important. None of it's important. Don't waste your time. Say, God, you know what? I'm going to think about what can I sow today. What can I do today without Sister Rose having to say, will y'all do this? Will y'all do that? And I was telling Bernard as we were going out the door, I said, I got it, though. I got it. Nothing is lacking. Every bill is paid and always going to be. Because at the end of the day, if it's short, I'm going to pick it up. I'm not coming to the church to ask you. You already know. Why don't we get some volunteers sowing some good seed in the ground? See, I just had to feel I want to do more. I want to help in any way I can without saying, I think I did good. Your $10? Really? I had a member in this church one time years ago. He said, I was going on vacation. And he said, here's Sister Rose, here's a card for you. Have a great time. Not one penny was in that card. I thought, you want me to have a great time? How am I have it? Put some money in the card, baby. Then I can have a good vacation. Stop for a minute. Want me to have a good vacation, really? Oh, for $10, that's not going to pay for breakfast. Are you kidding me? But when it's in your heart and you want to do what's right, I'm going to sow into the kingdom. Keep sowing into the kingdom. The kingdom sows into you. Spiritually, as Sister Mabel told me that time that the Lord told her to take her $20 she had in her purse and help this minister with it. When she looked in, she didn't have nothing but that $20. So she gave it like the Lord told her to. And she said, I got this spiritual gift that God said this is what I'm going to give you for. Now money can't buy spiritual gifts. But I'm not only going to give it back to you, but I am now going to give you a spiritual gift that anybody who knows anything about God would covet that. I watched that woman about knee-high to a duck and stand up there, and I'm talking, the power was flowing everywhere. Hey, all for that because you made a sacrifice. The kingdom of God is about sacrifice. That's what it's about. It's not about what I can do. It's what I'm going to do. Sow the seed, it's coming back. Give, and it shall be given to you. Shake down, running over. Well, men give into your bosom. He said, I'm going to bring it back. So you don't know why your tear never gained anything? Because you never did nothing with it for somebody else. So I'm going to sow, and I'm not sitting right here, watch, I put this seed here, and what do? I want the Lord to hurry up and send that back. Every day you go out and take a look at it. Don't look like nothing's coming. Go on, honey, and plant some more seeds and quit waiting on one. And the others will take it over. I hope you'll take this and realize the good that's happening in your life is what you sowed. The bad that's happening in your life is what you sowed. And you're never going to be where you need to be spiritually until you start doing things and sowing good seed. Bad seed, if you sow some bad seed in the earth and you want some tomatoes or some type of vegetable you put in the garden, if you put a bad seed in there, it won't produce nothing. Put a good seed. You'll have more than enough. So I hope you take this, and I really mean it when I say pray for your pastor. That's not words. I mean that. And if you knew everything, you couldn't take it, so I'll never tell you everything. You said, I've been crying for days. What are you crying about, Sister Rose? I don't want you depressed. I want you to enjoy serving God, but at the same time, what can I do to make things better? What can I do to lighten the load? I was telling William the other day, I said, there's a lot of things he can do. Mama, you need your rest. You need your rest, he said. You just need a good vacation. I said, well, there's things that you could do right here that you're not doing. That's right, Mama, that's right. I'm going to get on it. I'm going to get on it. Got that southern drawl all over the place. I said, quit talking about it. I just want to lift your burden. You're tired. I can look at you tired. You was tired. Really? Is there a way you can change that? Really? Change it.